Good evening, everyone. Hello, wherever you are. Hope you're having a great day. I want to welcome you back to another recording, another broadcasting of Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Helen Artis-Armstrong. On this platform, we discuss different mental health issues and struggles that are going on in society today. Our last broadcasting was we talked about substance abuse. And so I really felt that we needed a part two. A couple of issues that were not brought up on the last one. And so we just want to talk about that on today. Talking about substance abuse once again. And so let me go back and define substance abuse for you again. The definition we used last time was overindulgence in or dependence on an addictive substance, especially alcohol or drugs. Another definition that I have listed here to define substance abuse is uncontrolled use of alcohol, illegal drugs, or prescribed drugs that affect normal daily life. And so that is how substance abuse is defined. I want to begin today just by sharing just a little testimony, I guess you can say, or a little past experience that I had with this young woman that was very close to me, near and dear to me in my life. And she found herself facing and battling an addiction. And so there was one day I was driving down the road and she was walking down the road. And so I stopped and picked her up because that's who I am. That's what I do. And I said, "Hey, how you doing? Let's get on in. Where you need a ride to?" She said, "Well, friend," she said, "I'm not going to lie to you." She said, "I am on my way to this guy's house. I'm going to turn some tricks, do what I got to do. I'm going to get the money, and I'm going to get high." I said, "Okay, I'll drive you. Let's go. Where you want to go at?" And she kind of looked at me like, "Yeah, we're going. I'm driving you." The whole time she's in my car, I'm praying. I'm talking to the Lord about her, as I have always done at that point. And so she said, "Just take me down here." So we didn't go but 2 or 3 blocks down the road. She said, "Just drop me off here." I said, "Okay." And she looked at me and she turned back. She said, "Friend," she said, "I'm out here doing what I do, but most of the time I don't even want to do it." She said, "I could be sitting down getting high and crying because I don't want to do it. I want to stop and I can't stop myself." She said, "So promise me one thing, and that's that you'll never stop praying for me." Well, I told her, "Yes, ma'am. I will always pray for you." So she got out and went on about her business. It was at that point, I do believe, that she had come to grips with the fact that she was battling an addiction. And she understood at that point that it was something that was far bigger than her. And it was something that had taken control of her normal daily life. Something that she said she didn't even want to engage in most times, but she was not even able to stop herself. And so this lets us know that this addiction thing is very powerful. We have to know that it can overpower any of us at any time. And so, what to do about addiction? We talked about it before, that you have to make sure that you seek out help. Seek out help. Go talk to somebody. Get the help that you need that's going to help you to overcome what you're battling with. And we know that in this time right now that we're living in, there is an opioid crisis out here. And it is a crisis indeed. It's something that I guess you could say doctors didn't see coming, but it has taken over. And it has taken over. The opioid crisis has hit the world. It's not just an American thing. It's not just a black or white thing. It's not just a male or female thing. But this is a crisis that has hit the world. Some things that classify as an opioid are things like prescribed medications that you will probably be taking at from the doctor if you had issues with pain, if you came out of surgery, if you were going through some type of painful type illness, they'll give you things like codeine or hydrocodone or oxycodone, Percocet. I've had the Percocets and found out it's not for me. But these things are narcotics. It is a part of the opioid family and part of the crisis that is going on with the opioids right now. And there's a lot of people that's suffering with substance abuse that had no intention of ever trying to take drugs for a high, but they have become addicted nevertheless because of prescription drugs that they were taking. Okay, you find a lot of people in professional arenas now that are battling substance abuse. You'd be surprised to know that some of the teachers, some of the doctors, lawyers, some of these people are battling substance abuse. It's not just the people that you would see on the streets there or the street corners that you think are out there trying to get marijuana and crack, and the alcoholic that you see or the wino on the corner. No, it has hit the world in record proportions with those that we call middle class Americans. Okay, the wealthier sector of people that are hooked on these narcotics, and it is an epidemic. Okay, get counseling. Well, if you find yourself in that, or if that's your family member, counseling is going to be your best source to overcome, to make it through that. And not just counseling, but maybe group sessions, individual sessions, going to the doctor, and sometimes he'll give you alternative medications that are going to offset the addiction that you are dealing with these opioids and things like that, that'll help you just kind of be able to maintain yourself without having to have that narcotic to bring you up to that high. Okay, and these different substances, not just the opioids, but the marijuana, the cocaine, all of them, they cause so many different ailments in the body. Um, Weight loss, we know that's a big one. You see somebody losing massive amounts of weight and starting to look a little not well kept. Sometimes it's like, well, what are they on? Are they out there on something? And many times it's very possible. Abnormal heartbeats, chest and lung pains, nausea, vomiting, stomach pains, memory loss. I talked about when I went back to school to get this degree in counseling. I said, well, I smoked a whole lot of marijuana. I hope I didn't fry up all my brain cells, but thankfully I've been able to motivate through school. But it's a real thing, that some of your brain cells, they're not as strong as they used to be, and they may be damaged to the point where they are no longer useful if you're out there on these different substances. So many different things can happen to your body. You think about people that are smoking this meth. Well, they begin to have all this tooth decay. Their mouth is really messed up after prolonged use of these drugs. And even drinking alcohol, it can really mess up your mouth, your teeth, and it can have it in just such a way that it's so noticeable and so notable, that now you recognize by just about anybody by your countenance, your look, that you are on some type of substance. And another one that we brought up in our last recording was nicotine. I'm talking about cigarettes. A lot of people don't identify this as a drug, but it is. As a matter of fact, according to the Center for Disease Control, nicotine, tobacco, is the most dangerous drug out there. It is lethal. We already know that there's so many people that are affected to the point where they contract lung cancer from smoking. And not only that, you could be a person that's a smoker today, and 10 years down the road, you've already stopped smoking for 10 years, and you could still contract lung cancer because of the effects that it had on your body when you were smoking. And there's just so many different things. Organ damage can happen to you if you are using these substances. liver damage. Think about again that person drinking that alcohol, how it can affect them in such a detrimental way. I know people that have died and people that are suffering it with liver damage, liver disease because of the alcohol use and prolonged use of alcohol use. HIV. I just told you about the young lady that I knew that was out there selling her body to get money for the drugs. There are all kinds of sexual transmitted diseases out there that can be contracted as well and are being contracted as well. Sharing needles, another way to be able to contract all these different diseases. There's nothing good about it. Okay, there's nothing good about it. And losing the daily quality of your life is one of the biggest things that's a drawback. Losing out time with your kids, time with your family, time on the job, time doing those things that are productive in your life that make a difference. Those are some hard to deal with situations, and once it's gone, a lot of times there's no mending it back. There's a lot of relationships, marriages that are failing, families that are falling apart because of people in those family units that are dealing with the substances. And so I want to give you again the substance abuse hotline. That number is 1-800-662-HELP, help. 1-800-662-4357. If that's you that find yourself in this predicament, or somebody that's close to you, somebody that your relative, your loved one, reach out. There are counselors that are ready and trained to be able to help you to come through this situation. And it may get worse before it gets better, because studies show that the longer that you use a substance, the more your body becomes tolerable to that substance, and the more that substance you're going to use. And so you're going to increase use. And that means you need more money. That means more damage is going to take, into the body. And so I beg of you today, if you find that that's you, your loved one, reach out, get some help. That number again, that substance abuse hotline, 1-800-662-4357. 1-800-662-4357. I shared in the last substance abuse video that I lost my father to substance abuse. He was an alcoholic. He died with liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver. He literally drank himself to death at the age of 38. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your loved one. If you can help them, and reach out, go to some meetings or counseling for them, and learn those techniques of how you can help them to overcome what they're battling, because this is a disease, okay? It's not as easy as get over it or just stop doing that. No, it's a disease, and it's a sickness when you're dealing with these substances. And there are strategies out there that can be taught to you, that you can learn to help yourself and help your loved one to make it through. All right, well, that's it for this week. Again, y'all can reach out to us at kboministries.com. No, at yahoo.com, KBO Ministries at yahoo.com. We look forward to always hearing from you and look forward to getting that feedback. And so each and every one of you, I leave with you the scripture that we released last week. I just want to mention it again. Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, that ye present your body a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And in the scripture, it's simply saying, listen, your body is a temple. Submit that temple unto the Lord and let him use you for good. Don't let that body be torn down by substances. Okay? I always let you know every week, Jesus is my saving grace. I used to smoke the weed and drink the alcohol as well. I'm glad to say I'm 18 years clean now, and I didn't have the struggle with the substances where I couldn't let it go, but it could have been me. I could have stayed out there so long that I grew such a tolerance that I wasn't able to walk away the way I did. I have a but God testimony. But if that's you and you're struggling with it, there is help. You're not alone. There is help. Okay, y'all have a blessed week, and I will see y'all on next week.